Hey everybody, so I've got an update. As you know, there's been a lot of research and development going on across all forms of different carbon removal, right? We've got people working on biochar, enhanced rock weathering, seaweed sinking, and even direct air capture. And we need all those things to be able to hit the targets for billions of tons of carbon dioxide that we need in 2050 and beyond. So on top of all the work in messaging and funding and buyers, we need technologies to get developed. And so what happened this week is the US Department of Energy put out a new funding call for direct air capture mid-scale pilot projects. So if you're a company working in direct air capture right now, let's say you're at the early stage, this grant, this prize is really designed for you. So maybe you're raising your pre-seed round or your seed round. Basically, you're trying to get a couple $1 million together to be able to prototype a new direct air capture system that you have. This is for you. And right now you're probably hearing from investors that they're like, oh, I've talked to 30 other direct air capture companies. What's different about yours? And so you're gonna, try and work that out, try and differentiate yourself. This funding call is a really great opportunity for you to differentiate yourself, not only to investors, but to the US Department of Energy. And that's going to speed up your ability to raise money and find customers and have the impact that you're out to have. And so I want to go through some of the high level bits of this and then jump into some of the details. But I want to throw in here, if you're a direct air capture company, I think you should be applying for this in a sense, like as long as you've raised less than $10 million or so. I think this is one of the best opportunities there are for any direct air capture company right now. If you're thinking about applying or you're applying, send me an email, tito@airminers.com. I'd love to see if there's some way if there's resources that we have that can help you. So from a high level, this is a $52.5 million pot of money. I'm going to share my screen here so you can see. This is the DOE's website. So this is a $52.5 million pipeline for prize money. You can see it's divided up over these different sections. So the first phase are these $500,000 cash prizes. That's where you're competing now with the deadline in February. Then after that, it gets up to the next round is $4 million, then $1 million, and then $6.5 million. So even if you've already raised millions of dollars, maybe this $500,000 stage isn't all that interesting to you financially, you're getting into a pipeline that's going to be really valuable later on as you really start to deploy. So the other thing I wanted to point out is, let's see. So in the application itself, this is the document that describes kind of what your submission is going to be. One of the things it says is all the work has to be performed in the United States. So basically, I'm thinking about your timeline from now till submitting this in February. So if you're a company that's not based in the United States, you're going to need to figure out how to get to the United States and perform for the submission package the testing and the prototyping that's required. Now, again, as I said early on, I think this is a huge opportunity for any direct air capture company. And so if you're thinking at this point, this isn't a fit for you, you're not in the United States or whatnot, send me an email. I'd love to talk that through with you a little bit, because I really think with the 6 months timelines available, there is space for you to be able to pull this off. Now, what is it you need to pull off? Well, that's you need to have it's 500 hour. You have to show 500 hours of operating time. I'm just like searching through here. Oh, here we go. 500 hours. Yeah, it was right on that same page. So you have to have operated for 500 hours. Now, if you look at 6 months out, I think that's doable even for teams that are just starting to work on that now. Because if let's say you've got a prototype that takes, you staring at it for it to work, so you can stare at it for 8 hours a day. That's about 60 days of that, which gets you, 4 or so months in. So if you haven't started that yet, you still have time, and that February deadline is really good for you. The other thing I wanted to highlight was the community benefits is part of the submission here. And I wanted to highlight how important that is for the work with the Department of Energy. It's something that as part of your application, you need to describe and develop your community benefits plan. Just to highlight, that's something that's really important for this application, and it's good to start early. So wanted to highlight that. And the other thing while I'm here is you can see these scores. The way that they score the application is right here. So for every section of the application, it says, here's how it says score of 1 through 5 is given. And so you can go through that and see, how is this thing actually scored? So that's the opportunity for direct air capture companies. And like I said, if you raised a couple $1 million or you're trying to raise a couple $1 million, you should be applying for this prize. One, because of the prize money in the first phase. And if not for the first phase, then the second and third and fourth phases are much bigger. And lastly, just in terms of raising the caliber of your company and really demonstrating what you've done, I think this is a really good opportunity. And then lastly, if you're still thinking, this isn't for you, I would really, want to hear from you and just have you really think through this yourself of if this isn't for you, really, why not? If you're looking at direct air capture, the United States is the leading investor in direct air capture on the planet. They're building out direct air capture hubs all across the nation, lots of different climates, humidities, temperatures, access to electrical energy, heat energy, nuclear energy, like all sorts of different things. And so if you're building a direct air capture company and you're not thinking about coming to the United States or building in the United States, this is a really good opportunity for you to kind of double check that thinking. So we'd love to hear from you. Like I said, my email is tito@airminers.com. And whether you're doing this or thinking about it, I'd love to just drop me a note, and would love to connect.